The movie begins by providing a brief explanation about sirens, which are mythical creatures originating from Greek legends. These sirens are depicted as beautiful women with captivating voices that can lead sailors off course while they navigate the seas. This often results in ships getting wrecked and sinking into the deep ocean. According to legend, anyone who encounters a siren and falls in love with her is destined to meet a tragic end at sea. The story then shifts its focus to a young man named Suguru, who is having lunch with his colleague Fukawa. Both of them work as crew members on the MSC Bellissima, a luxurious cruise ship under the command of Captain Hatsumi. While Captain Hatsumi is being interviewed for a reality show by the crew, a female server named Rina suddenly rings a bell and approaches Suguru. She informs him about a new passenger causing trouble on board. Upon receiving this information, Suguru rushes to the ship's deck. There he encounters a middle-aged man named Sakota, who appears frustrated because he can't get a signal to call his wife. Suguru, always polite and committed to ensuring passengers' comfort, apologizes to Sakota and even offers to let him step on his back to get a better signal to call his wife. Fukawa questions Suguru's lack of self-respect, as he always prioritizes passengers even when they treat him unfairly. However, Captain Hatsumi praises Suguru for his dedication, stating that his commitment contributes to the safety and comfort of everyone on board. She encourages Suguru to continue his diligent work, and Suguru doesn't seem too concerned about his own pride when it comes to his job. After fixing his clothes, Suguru continues assisting passengers to ensure their comfort during their luxury cruise. While Suguru deals with a passenger's complaint about the lobby's cold air, a young boy named Kanato observes him from a distance. Kanato seems curious about Suguru, but is called away by a girl named Reina, who asks him to help with her belongings. Reina hails from the wealthy and respected Kuruma family, so the ship's crew is instructed to provide the best service to her grandfather Sohei, and her parents Michihiko and Misaki. Later, a magician named Edward entertains the first-class passengers during dinner, captivating them with his magic tricks. The next day, Suguru is busy checking his phone when Kanato surprises him with a question about why he's always so polite to everyone, including Kanato himself. Kanato explains that his mother is the housekeeper for the Kuruma family, and he's also assigned to serve them. He asks Suguru to be more casual, and they start chatting. Suguru reveals his plans to marry his girlfriend after this voyage and looks forward to it, especially since she's supposed to board the luxury cruise ship from Yokohama port. Meanwhile, Michihiko is upset with his father, Sohei, for not including him in the will, despite his belief that he's been dutiful. Instead of explaining himself, Sohei calls the housekeeper, Keiko, and asks her to escort Michihiko to his room. Michihiko accuses Keiko of seducing his father. As it appears, Sohei intends to leave his wealth to her. In the evening, Suguru receives a text message from his girlfriend, Wakaba, saying she had to cancel her trip due to urgent work matters. He tries calling her but gets her voicemail. Despite feeling disappointed, Suguru tries to be understanding and leaves her an encouraging message. The next day, Suguru tries to help Chizuru, a confused woman who arrives in the lobby. When she ignores him, he gently tugs her sleeve to get her attention, accidentally causing them to hug. Suguru apologizes for being forward, and Chizuru asks about Wakaba. Learning that Wakaba decided not to board the ship, Chizuru quickly deduces that Suguru is Wakaba's boyfriend. Chizuru then confided in Suguru that Wakaba had been cheating on him with her boyfriend, Ryo. She needed to confront them, but the ship had already left Yokohama port, leaving her stuck on board for 42 days. That evening, Suguru was assigned to deliver an air humidifier to Chizuru's room. When he arrived, Chizuru showed him evidence of Wakaba's cheating, intercepting text messages between Wakaba and Ryo. As Suguru read their conversations, he couldn't help but imagine the romantic moments between his girlfriend and another man. At first, he didn't want to believe it, but Chizuru encouraged him to call Wakaba to confirm. Unfortunately, Suguru couldn't reach Wakaba by phone, and Chizuru also couldn't contact Ryo. Realizing his girlfriend might be involved with someone else, Suguru rushed into the bathroom and screamed out his frustration. Afterward, he politely apologized to Chizuru for the disturbance. Chizuru insisted they needed to return to Japan as soon as possible because she believed Ryo and Wakaba might be getting married. As Suguru tried to catch up with the hurried Chizuru, He was approached by a woman named Aina, who asked him to escort 2 other passengers away because she didn't want to share a table with them. Suguru explained that the bar was busy and there were no empty tables available, but Aina belittled him for being just a waiter. This upset Chizuru, who defended Suguru and called Aina foolish for not appreciating the hardworking service staff. Chizuru invited Suguru to leave the bar, and they ended up on the deck where they came across Kanato, who was busy writing in his notebook. Meanwhile, Misaki took Sohei to the bar, hoping he would enjoy the party. However, Sohei seemed unhappy, especially when Misaki mentioned Reina. He firmly denied Reina as his granddaughter, revealing that she was the result of Misaki's affair with another man. Sohei then shared a painful memory from his past when he was a doctor at a hospital. A man gave him a crate of apples before a surgery on his wife, but the surgery failed and the patient died, leaving the man devastated. In the present, Sohei explained that he would leave his entire wealth to Keiko, a kind-hearted woman with a pure heart. Misaki became angry upon hearing this and pushed Sohei into the swimming pool with his wheelchair. She then used a pool stick to beat him. Shortly after, Suguru and Chizuru tried to escort Kanato back to his room, but unexpectedly encountered Aina and some other passengers in the elevator. When they arrived at the swimming pool, they saw someone sneaking away and found Sohei dead. Aina and the others ran away in fear, while Suguru hurried to inform the captain. When Hatsumi and other crew members arrived at the pool, they found no one there. Despite Suguru's claim of seeing someone leaving the pool area and finding Sohei dead, Hatsumi decided to call Aina and the others for questioning. Aina and the others denied witnessing a murder, surprising Suguru the most. Chizuru confirmed that they hadn't seen anything, and Kanato supported her statement. Sohei's body had secretly been moved to his room by Misaki and Michihiko to avoid suspicion because, in reality, Misaki had killed him. Michihiko instructed Misaki to find Sohei's will and take measures to prevent his body from decomposing. They also pretended that Sohei was alive when Deputy Captain Tatsuro checked the situation to verify Suguru's testimony about the murder. Hatsumi apologized to Aina and the others based on their testimonies and allowed them to leave. However, Suguru persisted in his claim that Sohei was dead, leading to Hatsumi suspending him. Chizuru later approached Suguru and revealed that they all saw what he saw at the swimming pool. They had lied because Kanato seemed shocked by the sight of a dead body, and Aina and the others didn't want Sohei's death to disrupt their cruise plans. Hearing this, Suguru became even more frustrated, not only due to his recent breakup but also because he was suspended for allegedly lying about a death. Overwhelmed by anger at himself, Suguru jumped into the swimming pool, and unexpectedly, Chizuru followed suit. After a while, Suguru and Chizuru engaged in a pleasant conversation about their love lives and agreed to investigate Sohei's murder by persuading Aina and the others to reveal the truth. The next day, Suguru disguised himself as a passenger to follow Ryuki, one of the murder case witnesses. However, Ryuki mistook Suguru for a hitman sent by his boss to kill him. In the confusion, Ryuki accidentally injured Suguru, leading him to take Suguru and Chizuru to his room, where he revealed he was a member of the Yakuza. Soon, Ryuki's lover, Shiori, arrived and explained that she was the daughter of a Yakuza boss. Due to her father's opposition to their relationship, Shiori and Ryuki planned to steal money for an elopement, which was why they lied about the murder. Chizuru attempted to persuade Shiori and Ryuki to help uncover Sohei's death, but Ryuki vehemently refused, even threatening Chizuru with an ice pick. Suguru intervened, promising to keep their secret. Later, Suguru and Chizuru overheard Aina and her partner, Shintaro, revealing that Aina was married to another man and having an affair with Shintaro. This explained their lies about the murder to avoid exposing their affair. Chizuru tried to convince them to tell the truth, but Aina insulted Suguru and Chizuru for being poor. Chizuru, feeling hurt, chose to leave. Suguru comforted her and invited her to a party to lift her spirits. While Suguru and Chizuru were enjoying themselves at the bar, Edward approached them with a magic trick, asking Suguru to pick a card. However, Edward failed to guess the chosen card correctly. To spare Edward's feelings, Suguru pretended that Edward had guessed it correctly. Meanwhile, Keiko, concerned about Sohei's condition, entered the room and was shocked to discover Sohei's lifeless body. She intended to report his death to the ship's crew, but was chased by Michihiko to the stairs. As Suguru and Chizuru planned to approach Kanado to persuade him, they heard a woman scream and rushed to find Keiko falling down the stairs. Keiko was quickly taken to the medical room, and fortunately, her condition was stable despite the fall. Due to the incident, Kanado apologized to Reina's parents, who requested him to stay with Reina. Meanwhile, Suguru and Chizuru decided to continue their investigation by sneaking into Sohei's room. However, they couldn't find Sohei anywhere. It was as if he had vanished without a trace. Moments later, they heard someone unlocking the door, prompting them to hide under the bed. From their hiding spot, they overheard Michihiko entering the room to take a call from his lawyer, who had located Sohei's will. Michihiko seemed excited and discussed modifying the will to gain control of Sohei's wealth. To their shock, Suguru and Chizuru discovered Sohei's lifeless body hidden under the bed. Suguru wanted to report it to the captain immediately, but Michihiko had already informed Hatsumi about Sohei's death. When a doctor examined Sohei's condition, he noticed burn marks on Sohei's palm, raising suspicions that Sohei might not have died from a heart attack, as Michihiko claimed. However, Michihiko insisted that his father had indeed died of a heart attack, and there was no evidence to prove otherwise. Hatsumi and the others had no choice but to accept this explanation. Suguru, though, remained curious about the circumstances surrounding Sohei's death, but Kanado stopped him from digging further. That evening, Chizuru received a phone call from Ryo, who finally confessed to his affair. Surprisingly, Ryo expressed deep remorse for his actions and hoped for Chizuru's forgiveness so they could continue their romantic relationship. Chizuru, still harboring feelings for her boyfriend, appeared conflicted when Suguru came to see her. The following day, the vice captain instructed several crew members to prepare for disembarking Sohei's body at the Hong Kong port, as Michihiko and his family were continuing their voyage to attend an important meeting in Europe. Chizuru also planned to disembark at Hong Kong, hoping to reunite with Ryo in Japan. Suguru attempted to dissuade her from returning to her unfaithful boyfriend, but Chizuru seemed resolute in her decision and urged Suguru to return to Wakala. Surprisingly, Suguru confessed his love for Chizuru, making it clear that he had no intentions of going back to Wakala. As Chizuru was preparing to disembark from the ship in Hong Kong, she stumbled upon Kanado's diary. To her surprise, the diary revealed that Kanado had genuine feelings for Reina. Moments later, an announcement for passengers disembarking in Hong Kong caught Chizuru's attention, and she realized it was Suguru making the announcement. What astonished her even more was that Suguru took the opportunity to express his love for her through the announcement, causing Chizuru to reconsider her decision to return to Ryo. Chizuru sought out Suguru and, with a warm hug, told him she had chosen to stay with him. Meanwhile, at the bar, Shiori and Ryuki were in high spirits, having won consecutive rounds of gambling at the casino. Ryuki even entertained the idea of using their winnings to buy the luxury cruise ship. At another table, Shintaro appeared irritated when Aina asked him to pawn her luxury watch for gambling money. Shintaro then revealed that he had successfully auditioned for a film role and was planning to return to Japan to start his acting career. Despite Aina's dismissive comment about it being a low-budget film, Shintaro was unwavering in his desire to pursue genuine artistic work as an actor. Shintaro also disclosed that he had recorded the incident when they spotted Sohei at the swimming pool. He believed that showing the video to the captain would prompt them to return to Japan if a murder had indeed occurred on the ship. Shintaro aimed to present the footage to the captain for a swift return. Meanwhile, Shiori discovered Ryuki's betrayal and confronted him with a knife. Fearing that Shintaro intended to reveal the video to the captain, she expressed her desire to return to Japan as well. They hastily left the scene, with Aina and Ryuki chasing after them to prevent them from reporting to the captain. Arriving in the ship's lobby, Shintaro and Shiori spotted Suguru and handed him the phone with the incriminating evidence. With undeniable proof of the murder, Suguru and Chizuru sought out Kanado, another witness. They eventually found Kanado, who was treated poorly by Reina's parents, forced to eat on the floor instead of at the dining table. Suguru scolded Reina's parents, while Chizuru assisted Kanado and encouraged him to leave with Reina. Michihiko, furious at their interference, attempted to chase after them. However, Suguru halted him, revealing that he had uncovered the truth behind Sohei's death. Suguru showed the video footage to Michihiko and Misaki, demanding an explanation. Initially, they denied their involvement, but when Hatsumi arrived and saw the footage, Michihiko panicked and confessed. He revealed that Misaki was the murderer and that Sohei had discovered her affair with another man, which led her to give birth to Reina. Misaki had killed Sohei to silence him forever. Surprisingly, Michihiko had also been recording a video when Sohei and Misaki were at the pool. He knew that Misaki had pushed Sohei into the water. However, Misaki denied having any part in Sohei's demise, claiming she had left while he was still in the pool. Suguru and Chizuru managed to discover some important clues in Michihiko and Shintaro's video, proving that Michihiko and Misako were not responsible for Sohei's death. It was at this moment that Michihiko realized Sohei didn't drown, as there was no water in his lungs. He recalled a burn mark on Sohei's palm and concluded that he had died from an electric shock. Just then, Edward approached them and unexpectedly confessed that his magic wand had broken after Sohei touched it. The scene shifted to Sohei struggling to reach the pool's edge, calling for help from Edward, who was nearby. Edward immediately handed his magic wand to Sohei to assist him. But as Sohei held the wand with his wet hand, Edward intentionally electrified it, causing Sohei's death. Suguru confronted Edward about the reason behind his action, but Edward suddenly felt chest pain and collapsed. Michihiko, being a doctor, tried to help, but Edward pushed him away. Edward then used a magic trick to produce an apple from his mouth, revealing that his family had no doctors. The story takes us back to the past, revealing that Edward was the husband whose wife passed away after an operation performed by Sohei. Before the surgery, Edward gave a box of apples to Sohei as a gesture of gratitude, as Sohei was willing to operate on Edward's wife despite their financial struggles. At first, Edward had hoped that the operation would succeed, but it tragically failed and his wife didn't make it. In the present, he accidentally overheard a conversation between Sohei and Misaki, learning that Sohei intentionally botched the surgery so that his wife's organs could be donated to a government official at the Ministry of Health. Suguru and the others were left in shock and couldn't find words to express their feelings upon discovering this heartbreaking truth. Shortly afterward, Edward was detained in a cabin under guard until the Japanese police arrived to arrest him. After uncovering the truth about Sohei's death, Suguru and Chizuru spent time together on the poolside in a romantic setting. Meanwhile, Aina, who had broken up with Shintaro, attempted to win over Ryuki, offering him a role in her new film project. On the other hand, Shiori, who had left Ryuki after his cheating, decided to return to Japan and introduce Shintaro as her boyfriend to her father. The following day, Suguru and Chizuru decided to become a couple because they genuinely cared for each other. The film concluded by showing passengers who watched in amazement as Reina and Kanato danced together. Reina appeared happy while dancing with Kanato because Kanato and his mother truly cared for her and loved her, unlike her parents, who were only concerned with money and wealth. The moral lesson from the story is always make sure to prevent a magician with a pet bird from boarding the ship, because that magician might be a cold-blooded murderer. And be sure to bring your partner on the trip if you don't want them to cheat.